Hello, I'm ABX Toycat and welcome back to a video. Today I have another building-based video for you all. This isn't something I do too often on my channel, but a lot of people have been requesting starter home advice recently. And starter homes are something everybody needs in Minecraft because obviously you need to survive your first night, and also a lot of people like to have projects to work from day one. And I'm going to be showing you 10 separate starter homes as inspiration, but the main thing I wanted to actually inspire you with is the places you make these starter homes. Because when it comes to, homes in Minecraft, I'm obviously not the best person, but something I do notice when I do all the seed work is I see patterns as to where would be really great to settle down and make a house, and I figured I'd share 10 great locations for that you can even use for your very first house in Minecraft. So that's what I'm sharing with you today. Hopefully you do all enjoy the video. If you do, please do like it and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like this. I want to see more building based videos. They do take a bit more time than normal, but yeah, if you like them, then let me know and we can do more. But yeah, let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start with the first location for a home that you might not be using, but is actually quite cool, and that is a tree house. Because all you need for a tree house is to find a tree, go into the center, go up the top like this, then use this as a ladder post, and boom, you're on top of the tree. And this has quite a few benefits. I'll go to the one I've made earlier, because in this case we have a, kind of like a bird cage based tree house, as you can see here. This tree house is really cool because, from it, because it's just using fences as walls, you can see out in any direction, but also it has the nice benefit is because mobs don't spawn on transparent blocks, that no mobs will spawn up here, and although spiders can climb up here, they can't get in through the door if it's one wide. So yeah, you can just instantly protect your house from a lot of mobs this way, and also it's kind of nice just to be on top of some trees, because it doesn't have to just be one tree. This is a bird cage just based on one tree, but because lots of trees are close together in the forest biome, which are very, very, very common, you can just place it on top of all of them and use it as a very bizarre support structure. So yeah, if you ever wanted to build a house but slightly vertically elevated, rather than building the support yourself, why not just use a tree? I think it's a very interesting way to do it, and that is the first build location idea. So the second build location idea is to do with the phrase, the grass is always greener on the other side, because a lot of people always question why the grass is so green in my Let's Play world, or in the old part of the Let's Play world, and that is because jungle biomes have a much greener color grass than other biomes. So that's the plains over there. As you can see, this is the normal green from Minecraft, and this is the jungle color green. As you can see, it's super green. I think it's really nice, and a lot of people agree with me. How do you get this grass then without dealing with the jungle biome? Because I'm sure you've all seen the inside of this thing. It's just a mess to deal with. So if you go to a jungle biome edge, which is a super rare biome, but if you just go to a jungle and then go to the edge, you can find this super nice green patch that, you can expand if you want to by chopping down trees, but you also get a lot of flat ground to work with. So if you just build your house just outside of that, so in my case it's just on the plains here, then you see you have the nice advantage of when you pop out from your house and go outside, then you'll actually be able to, just see super green grass, which means if you want to have a nice garden, or you want to have a mob farm, you'll be able to see it with the super nice green tinge that just makes life a little bit better. So yeah, if you like your green grass, that's pretty cool. This is my house here, by the way. It's based on the one that was here before, or if you don't like this, then you could build a giant, observatory lighthouse thing. That's entirely your plan too. But yeah, another star house idea. I think the jungle edge is a pretty great place. Honestly, the jungle itself is great, but obviously you have to deal with the fact that you have to chop down trees otherwise. But if you don't want to chop down trees, if you don't believe in that, then don't worry. Idea number 3 has got you covered, because basically, lots of people have, tree houses that are based on one jungle tree, and that is pretty cool. Like, you go to the top of it, like the first tree house one. But something I really like, and it's kind of rare to find sometimes, but in this particular case, I do have a really great example of it. When you have two trees that are basically the same height, and they're basically parallel with each other, you can kind of combine the two and make a platform that looks something like this, and then build your house on the platform. And this has quite a few cool advantages. First of all, there's two entrances. You can go, you can climb up this tree and get in through that way, or you can go in for the other tree, which is, of course, kind of nice. But second of all, you get some nice views. And nice views are always nice in Minecraft, whether it's just an ocean and a single jungle tree in an ocean, it seems. Or whether it's, actual be able to see stuff. It's nice to be able to get some views. But also, you're just super high up, so you're going to have a lot of protection from mobs. And because there's just not many areas they can spawn, they would have to follow you up here or spawn up here naturally, both of which can be, avoided quite easily. So yeah, this is, a house between two jungle trees. I think it's kind of a nice little jungle hut. But again, depending on the gap between trees, you can make something bigger, something smaller, or you can just ignore the idea altogether and just like have a bridge between the two. I think, building from jungle tree to jungle tree is a great opportunity that if you didn't explore when it first came out in TU14, then now is a great time to do so. So yeah, that is the jungle tree house. Go between two jungle trees and you probably won't regret it. Probably, with a big asterisk on it. So let's move on to idea number 4 here, and this one requires you to go up to a mountain, and admittedly it's kind of seed based, but I see it so often that I'm always just like, I would love to do that, because I have done this once back in my very old school Ending the Ender Dragon Let's Play, because every now and then you might see just single blocks of just floating near a mountain. They happen a lot more near mountains, but they can happen anywhere. But sometimes you see massive areas like, like 10, 20, 30, 40, or even just an entire island up there, and if you just build up the island, so do the same thing with the tree where you just get some dirt and you kind of build up like this, then then you get this cool opportunity to just be on top of an island, and I've always thought this is the coolest idea, because you see these islands so often, and to me, it's just like, oh, I'd love to be up there. And if you do want to be on top of these islands, just place your stop down here, place down a single torch, the place is lit up, and it's kind of fun like that. If you want to make it even harder to access and make it even cooler to get to, then you can ignore the ladder altogether, so just let's destroy that for now, let's say. So no more ladders up here, now people can't get up here, destroy the dirt tower down, and now you've got a floating island, and you can make it accessible by a bunch of cool things like this. So in my case, you gotta go from, bit to bit, and it doesn't look like it's properly accessible, but it is kind of there if you can do this, and again, that makes it extra mob proof and makes it cooler to get to. So yeah, if you want to have a cool house, then using the floating islands, if you see one, it's just a great opportunity in my opinion. Obviously the mountain itself is kind of nice, but yeah, while we're in the savannah anyway, let's show you this next build here, which is based in a savannah biome, because basically the fifth place you should go to is any flatland biome. So that's a plains, that's a savannah, or that's a desert, but savannah is my favorite of the three because it's kind of like a plains mixed with desert. And of course in the savannah biome you find a bunch of acacia trees, so this is an acacia based build. It's kind of like a raised up hut because they get lots of rainfall in these places where it doesn't look like there's rainfall. And yeah, so they built the hut up on top of these things. As you can see, I kind of like it. It's got a staircase going to it, and yeah, this is a great kind of build location because it's so flat. You see how I built this? Usually if this was on a hill, you have to kind of either flatten or go through the plain, but this is just a nice flat ground because savannas, plains, and deserts are generally very, very flat. You can see just down here another massively flat land, and if you just want to build unrestricted, these are the best biomes. I always give this advice, but a lot of people don't know it. If you just want to build unrestrictedly and just have your own thing happen, then the best place to do that is to go to a savannah biome. So, or savannah, desert, or plains, whichever you can find. You always have one of the three in your seat, or not always, but almost always, and if you can find one, then do that, and if you want to make a hut on that, then that's something you can do too. So, that's build idea location number 5, and also build idea itself number 5. Again, these are just kind of things I just threw together, and I was like, oh, that seems like it might be a fancy build. I actually quite like this one, though. Like, it does actually look like a real hut that someone might live in at some point. So let's move on to idea number 6 here, which actually involves going to the top of any mountain. It's a mesa mountain here because that's the coolest type of mountain. If you just go to the top of any mountain, it's a really cool place to make a house. Not only because, the journey up to your place can be really cool, and you can make it kind of epic by melding the mountain around it, but if you just go to the very top of your mountain and then, build a hut on it, in my case, my hut looks like this, in case you're curious, then what you can actually do is you can have a really cool place to live that has some really great views over the rest of the world. And this isn't just cool because you might like looking at the view. Oh, look, there's a Minecraft sign. But it's also really cool because of the fact that you can actually see people coming, and it's like an alert post. So if you see, if someone was running towards you and trying to attack you, you can see them up there, and it's also kind of a defense mechanism because, like in real life, if you have the hills, you can see more stuff, and that means if you have a bow on you, you can fire down there, and you have the advantage in the combat because how are they going to get you through this window on top of the mountain? It's a trick question, they won't. So if you have these on every direction or just in the directions that people are facing, then you can have this really cool sight line and basically a defense against anyone coming from the land. And if they're not coming by land, it's going to be really tricky for them to get to you. So yeah, being on top of a mountain is cool, not only because you get views, but it's also a really tactical thing if you're in a multiplayer game. So yeah, that is build idea number 6. Any mountain will work really though. You can use a mesa biome, you can use a savannah, you can use extreme hills. Anywhere where you've got a super steep hill, the higher the hill, the better the build in that case. Oh, that almost rhymed. So yeah, let's move on to build location number 7, which is admittedly super rare, but if you do get one, you take the opportunity and you build right there because it is going to be the mushroom biome. So the mushroom biome is the only place in the game where you're going to find yourself some mushrooms. These things are great. I mean, everybody loves their mushrooms. Look how cute the face is. But yeah, besides having cute mushrooms here, you also have the opportunity to build where no mobs can get to you. So you don't have to worry about building, like the mob-proof house. It just is mob-proof already, and this means you can build whatever you want here and don't have to worry about creepers at all. You can build a nice brick house. These are both from the tutorial world already. You can build a nice sandstone house, and you can see from this one you get a nice view of the ocean in case that's what you really like. You can do a bunch of different things, with the mushroom biome, and the big thing is it's just the best place to settle down if you have one and you're not too sure what you should do. So give me a second. The TV just went a bit weird. Let's move on to idea number 8 here. I hope I got that number right, because otherwise this is going to be all out of order, because that involves going to the very edge of your world and just settling down there. So usually one of the 4 corners or multiple of your 4 corners will have some land there, but if they don't, it's just as good because you can build your own land, which I've done here. And as you can see, I've got my own cool little ocean biome that's also a little place to live, and this is great because you place 4 torches, no mobs can get you because mobs don't spawn necessarily in the water too close, and that just means you have a safe place to live and to not really be distracted by anything. I mean, you could see that if I was on a 360 size world, I just wouldn't be able to see anything from here besides ocean, 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 and sometimes that's what you want. Sometimes you don't want to be distracted by everything, and also, again, it's got the tactical advantage if anyone does come towards you, they're the only thing that you'll be able to see, and there's a strong advantage there. And plus, because you're an island, they can't come to you from underwater, so really, really nice benefit there. And if you just dig like... If you made the island out of glass, then boom, you'd be entirely set, and no one could get through from any angle without using them first, and that's going to be a tactical advantage. I mean, it's kind of lonely, because there's no treats here, there's just a few chests, and there's nothing inside any of the chests. Now there is, and yeah, if you want a nice lonely place to either be tactical, or just to be sad and just gaze at the ocean, because on console obviously it just goes on forever, then that's something you can do from here. I want to believe that, like, in the distance, you can see in the horizon, like, that could be a big mountain that I just can't see. It's not. It's not. So yeah, let's move on to idea number 9 here. And we're going to be a little bit crazy if the last couple ones haven't been crazy, because it sounds crazy at first. It really does sound crazy at first, because again, it involves a pretty rare biome. But if you do find this rare biome, you know, you might as well settle down and use it as an opportunity to build a pretty unique house. So what is the unique house? It's a house under a frozen river. So again, this sounds ridiculous. An underwater house doesn't seem like it should work, but truth be told, even if we don't include sponges, you can see I've got a working bed right here. We just have to remove that block on top of it, and then boom, you can see I can sleep in the bed just fine. I've got working oxygen holes, and I can even use all my chests from within the oxygen holes, and the furnace, and the crafting table. And yeah, it's an entirely functional underwater house, and it's really cool because unlike an above ground house where you alert people to your presence, you know, people might be able to see you down there, but they'll just be like, oh, you don't see anything, it's just like that. And as you can see, although the bed's kind of visible, everything else is pretty well hidden down there. Like, you just can't really see it unless you're really focusing on trying to find the chest, and that's pretty cool by itself. But it's also pretty cool because later on in the game, you know, saying you live underwater is ridiculous, but it's also a nice little, like, oh yeah, I just live underwater, it's just what I do. But it's also got the cool benefit of later on in the game, what you can actually do is you can sponge this entire place up, and you can make it like a genuine livable house. And like that, you can see we've got a house just below a riverbed, which sounds so ridiculous, but is entirely functional. And it's something you can do right there. So again, you just need to go to an ocean monument if you want to get sponges. So many people always ask how you get these in survival. You just go to an ocean monument, you find wet sponges, you drain them in a furnace, and boom, just like that, you can see we've got ourselves... Oh, jeez, this thing's just spawning over and over again. But yeah, just like that, we've got ourselves a nice little underground base that's underneath a river. And again, because from above the water, you generally can't tell too much. I mean, at least that's my opinion. Actually, wait, you can entirely tell. But yeah, people just see the frozen river, and they're like, oh yeah, that's just the thing you have, I guess. So yeah, that is the 9th idea here as to where you can settle down with your first house underneath a frozen river. You can do this with a regular river, but you'd have to kind of do the top over yourself. So you know, you could just place dirt over the top and then do it like that. But that's not quite as fun as doing it in a frozen river. But if you want to drain a river anyway, because you know, it can be pretty fun, just be like, you know, this used to be a river. Now it's just my little trench that I drive to work. Well, not drive to work. That I walk to work in or something. Not that you have a work in Minecraft. You get the point I'm trying to make, though. Yeah, it's a cool little idea in my opinion. Underneath the frozen river, or just inside a regular river. Bunch of different ideas, and they remind me of the the Monty Python sketch where the guy's like, oh, I lived in a lake in a shoebox in a lake. And if you want to be that guy that says he lives in a shoebox in a lake, you don't even have to be entirely lying if you just make one underneath a frozen ocean or frozen lake. So yeah, that's idea number 9 here. Let's move on to number 10, which admittedly is the craziest one because we are going to the Nether. Because truth be told, in Minecraft, if you've ever watched one of my streams, you'll notice how I don't build a first house most of the time until I've done a decent amount of stuff, and that's because you can get to the Nether now before you need to build your first house. If you just focus and focus and focus, you can do it, and that means your first house can be built inside the Nether. And by the way, this is my garden, this is my house. Isn't it lovely? And yeah, if you just kind of tame the Nether, you can do some really cool things because it just doesn't seem like the sort of place that should have a house. I mean, it seems super dangerous, and let's be honest, there's a ghast up there, so it really is. But yeah, if you just make sure you build enough stuff out of stone to protect your your dirt and your wood, then you can actually make a house in the Nether. Oh, I'm sorry about the audio glitching there, but yeah, you can actually build a house in the Nether, and it's really cool for a bunch of different reasons. The first of which is that obviously it's a house in the Nether. How many of friends have houses there? Probably not too many. But the second one is because the Nether is so much more efficient to get from place to place, it essentially means you're moving 3 times as fast. If you need to get from one place to the other, instead of having to go through the Nether, then going back out the Nether, you're just already there. So if you need to get from anywhere, you can do that. And there's a surprising number of things you can actually do in the Nether that you might not figure you can do here, like the plants you saw earlier. You can even grow trees here. You do that sort of stuff. And if you're like me, you make sure you actually protect your house. And as you can see, I've got a cobblestone roof here. It It means that your house, even though it can be built out of something that looks nice in your opinion, as you can see, my house is just a built-in-the-wall one. But yeah, you can make a house that looks kind of cool, but also that is pretty functional and that can actually be a nice house. So just the one thing I will say is make sure that you do not place beds in the Nether and try and sleep in them. Everyone's made that mistake once, and it's not a very nice one to do. So besides not being able to sleep, I think the Nether house is pretty cool, and that's you know, all for 10 cool building locations that you might want to try out yourself. So if you did like the video, please do like it and let me know. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you are new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Also, let me know if you want to see more building-based videos and stuff like that. But other than that, I guess thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.